dear students, this is the continuation of the previous episode, Heritage Tourism. In this episode, we are going to give more information regarding the topic, and the topic is divided into following captions. They are International Assistance, World Heritage Committee, Advisory Bodies, Secretariat of World Heritage Committee, Responsibility of the World Heritage Center. First one is international assistance. The work of identification, conservation and preservation associated with World Heritage is expensive. The requests for financial assistance from different countries are huge and cannot be met fully. The World Heritage Committee allocates funding on a priority basis with a particular focus on most threatened sites, including those listed as the World Heritage in danger. Special attention is given to properties situated in developing countries. The request may come in any one of the following three categories. First one is preparatory assistance. In order to prepare inventories of potential World Heritage, financial assistance may be sought by the state party. It may include preparation of tentative list and technical assistance for identification and training of staff. Emergency assistance. It is provided to sites in imminent danger due to severe damage from unexpected events such as flooding, outbreak of war, earthquake, etc. This assistance can be provided for drawing up an emergency plan to safeguard an endangered property or taking any other emergency measure to protect the sites. Conservation and management assistance. This is allocated for a number of disciplines relevant to the monitoring, conservation and management of World Heritage sites. These includes training of specialists undertaking studies on specific and technical problems, supply of equipments, etc. Each country to the convention recognizes its primary duty to ensure identification, protection, conservation and transmission to future generation of the natural and cultural heritage sites within its territory. As on 31st December 2011, there were 188 countries who have signed this convention, making it one of the most powerful instruments for conservation and protection of heritage sites. Sustainable Development Program. After the adoption of the resolution at the convention, the international community has embraced Sustainable Development Program. The protection and conservation of cultural and natural sites contributes to the sustainable development approach. The convention aimed at identification, protection, conservation and passing on to next generation of the natural and cultural heritages of outstanding universal value. The criteria and conditions for inscriptions of properties have been developed to evaluate the outstanding universal value of both natural and cultural sites. Operational guidelines. The operational guidelines given for the implementation of the World Heritage Convention aims to facilitate the implementation of the convention, the protection of the world cultural and natural heritage by setting forth the following procedure. The procedure for inscription of properties on the World Heritage List and the list of World Heritage which are in danger. Steps for protection and conservation of World Heritage properties in danger. Granting of international assistance, both financial and technical, to state parties. Mobilization of national and international support in favor of conservation. Coming to the next one, World Heritage Committee. An international committee for the protection of cultural and natural heritage of outstanding universal value was constituted. This committee is called World Heritage Committee. This is an international or intergovernmental organization consisting of 21 state parties elected for a period of 6 years by the members who are signatory to World Heritage Convention. The committee is responsible for implementation of the convention. It has the power to determine which site to include on the World Heritage List based on the recommendation of the advisory bodies, the International Council on Monuments and Sites for Cultural Sites and the World Conservation Union for Natural Sites. A third advisory body, the International Center for the Study of Preservation and Restoration of Cultural Property, provides experts' advice on monuments restoration and management of cultural heritage. It also organizes training for specialists. Any state party to this convention may request international assistance for property forming part of the cultural or natural heritage of outstanding universal value situated within its territory. Functions of the committee. The World Heritage Committee has the following important functions to perform. First one, identify the outstanding universal value of the list of properties submitted by the state party for inscription in the World Heritage List. Second one, examine the state of conservation of properties to be inscribed in the World Heritage List. Third one, define the procedure by which requests for international assistance are to be considered. Fourth one, determine how the resources of the World Heritage Fund shall be used. Fifth one, submit the report on its activities once in 2 years to General Assembly of the state parties. Sixth one, review and evaluate periodically the implementation of the convention. Seventh one, review and adopt the operational guidelines. The 6 members Bureau of the World Heritage Committee meets twice a year to evaluate requests for site inscriptions and financial assistance. The committee will examine the state of conservation and give suitable recommendation to the concerned state. Any state party to this convention may request international technical and financial assistance for their World Heritage sites. To be included on the list of World Heritage, the property must fulfill a number of criteria and its value must withstand the test of time and authenticity. The convention has set 4 criteria for natural sites and 6 for cultural sites. The strategic objectives of World Heritage Committee: strengthen the credibility of the World Heritage List, ensure effective conservation of World Heritage property, promote the development of effective capacity building program within the state party, take suitable steps to increase the public awareness, involvement and support for World Heritage sites. Moving on to the next one, advisory bodies. 3 international non-governmental organizations are named in the convention to advise the committee on its deliberations. First one, International Union for Conservation of Nature. It is an international non-governmental organization that provides the World Heritage Committee with technical evaluation of natural heritage properties through its worldwide network of specialists. It reports on the state of conservation of listed properties. It has more than 1000 specialists spread all over the world. It has its head office in Switzerland. Second one is International Council of Monuments and Sites. It provides the World Heritage Committee the technical guidance about cultural and mixed properties for inscriptions on the World Heritage List. It is also an international non-governmental organization with its head office at Paris. Third one is the International Center for Study of Preservation and Restoration of Cultural Properties. It provides expert advice as to how to conserve listed properties. It also gives training in restoration techniques. It has its head office in Rome. Criteria for cultural sites. The criteria for inclusion of cultural properties on the World Heritage Lists are considered in the context of Article 1 of the Convention, which is as follows. Monuments. Archaeological works, works of monumental sculptures and paintings, elements or structure of an archaeological nature, inscriptions, cave dwellings, and any combinations of these features which are of outstanding universal value from the point of view of history, art, architecture, and science. Group of buildings. A group of separate or connected buildings which, because of their architecture, homogeneity, or their place in the landscape, are of outstanding universal value from the point of view of history, art, or science. Sites. Works of man or nature, or the combined work of man and nature. Areas including archaeological sites which are of outstanding universal value from historical, aesthetic, ethnological, or anthropological points of view are considered for declaring as a heritage site. A monument, group of building, or site as defined above may be considered as an outstanding universal value which the committee may take for inclusion in the list of World Heritage Site. The property to be nominated should fulfill one or more of the following requirements. They are: represent a masterpiece of human creative genius, exhibit an important interchange of human value over a span of time or with the cultural area of the world on developments in architecture, monumental arts, or town planning and landscape design, bear a unique or exceptional testimony to a cultural tradition or to the present or past civilization, be an outstanding example of a type of building architectural wonder which illustrates significant stages in human history, be an outstanding example of a traditional human settlement on land use which represent a culture, especially when it has become vulnerable under the impact irreversible change, be directly or tangibly associated with events or living traditions, with ideas or with beliefs, with artistic and literary work of outstanding universal significance. Criteria for inclusion of natural property. In accordance with the article of the Convention, the following is considered as natural heritage. Natural features consisting of physical and historical formations or group of such formations which are outstanding universal value from the aesthetic or scientific point of view, geological and physiological formations and precisely delineated which constitutes the habitats of threatened species of animal and plants of outstanding universal value from the point of view of science and conservation. Natural sites and natural beauty may be considered for the inclusion in the list of World Heritage Sites. A natural heritage property as defined above which is submitted for inclusion in the World Heritage List will be considered to be of outstanding universal value when the committee finds that it fulfills one or more of the following conditions. Be outstanding example representing major stages of history including records of life, significant ongoing geological process in the development of land formations or significant geomorphic or physiographic features. Be outstanding example representing significant ongoing ecological and biological process in the evolution and development of terrestrial, freshwater, coastal and marine ecosystem communities of plants and animals. Contains superlative natural phenomena or areas of exceptional beauty and aesthetic importance. Contains the most important and significant natural habitats for in situ conservation of biological diversity including those threatened species of outstanding value from the point of view of science and conservation. Procedure for inclusion. An application for a site to be included on the World Heritage List should be made from the concerned state party. The application should include a detailed plan showing how the site is managed and protected, a description of the site's World Heritage value and justification for inclusion of the property for World Heritage List should be given. The application shall contain the following information: identification of the property with correct boundaries on all sites, descriptions of the property, justification for inscriptions, state of the conservation and factors affecting the property, how it is to be protected and managed, monitoring mechanism, necessary documentation regarding the property, contact person for any further information or clarification required. All the documents and applications have to be signed by a highly responsible officer with official seal. The committee, after examining the various criteria for inclusion, decides the next course of action. World Heritage sites are placed on the list of World Heritage in danger when the World Heritage Committee decides that a site is threatened by extinction or potential threat, such degradation from uncontrolled urbanization or unsustainable exploitation of natural resources. The list of World Heritage in danger can serve as a means for conservation, giving countries access to international assistance. It is also a way to give wide publicity to get support for protection and conservation. Advisory boards. There are 2 advisory boards. These advisory boards of World Heritage Committee are the International Center for the Study of Preservation and Restoration of Cultural Property and International Council for Monuments and Sites. These bodies have the following functions: advise the World Heritage Committee in the implementation of decisions in the areas of their expertise, assist the Secretariat in the preparation of committee's documentation, assist the committee with the development and implementation of global strategy for a representative, balanced and credible World Heritage List. It also gives advice in the area of global training strategy, periodic reporting and strengthening the effective utilization of World Heritage Fund. Coming to the next one, Secretariat of the World Heritage Committee. The World Heritage Committee is assisted by a Secretariat appointed by the Director General of UNESCO. The functions of the Secretariat is currently assumed by World Heritage Center established in 1992 especially for this purpose. The Director General appoints the Director of World Heritage Center as Secretary to committee. This Secretariat assists the collaborates with the state parties and the advisory bodies. The Secretariat works in close cooperation with other bodies of UNESCO. Functions of Secretariat. The following are the important functions of the Secretariat. Organize the meetings of the World Heritage Committee and General Assembly, taking appropriate steps to implement the decision taken by World Heritage Committee and General Assembly, coordination of studies and activities of as part of global strategy for representative, balanced and credible World Heritage List, promotion of World Heritage protection and conservation through dissemination of information to state parties, advisory bodies and general public. Responsibility of the state parties. Once a site is inscribed on the World Heritage List, the primary responsibility of the state party is to maintain the values for which the site is inscribed. Article 5 of the Convention calls for each state to ensure protection, conservation and promotion of the cultural and natural heritage situated in its territory by taking appropriate actions. The Convention urges the state party to adopt a general policy to integrate the local community with protection and conservation of the World Heritage Sites. Any destination development plan shall include protection, conservation and promotion of World Heritage Sites. The following are the duties of the state party. It should encourage by appropriate means the participation of the all stakeholders including site managers, local and regional government, local community, non-governmental organization and other interested parties in identification, nomination, protection and conservation of World Heritage Sites. Develop scientific and technical studies to identify the action that would counteract the danger that would threaten the World Heritage Sites. Take appropriate legal, scientific, technical, administrative and financial measures to protect the heritage. Foster the establishment and development of regional or national centers for training in the protection, conservation and promotion of World Heritage Sites and encourage scientific research in these areas. Submit to the World Heritage Committee an inventory of properties suitable for inscriptions on the World Heritage List. Make regular contribution to World Heritage Fund. Encourage establishment of national public or private foundations or associations to facilitate donations for World Heritage Fund. Use educational and information programs to strengthen appreciation and respect by the people for the cultural and natural heritage as defined in Article 1 and 2 of the Convention and keep the public informed of the danger threatening heritage. Provide information to the World Heritage Committee on the implementation of the World Heritage Convention and the state of the conservation of the property. Moving on to the last one, responsibilities of the World Heritage Center. The World Heritage Center, which is established in the year 1992, is the working secretariat of the statutory bodies of the Convention. It helps the countries to implement the resolution of the Convention. It also takes up the capacity building program at local and national for protection and conservation of heritage sites. The center coordinates the exchange of international expertise and assistance, collects and disseminates information on the status of World Heritage Sites and maintain database of all World Heritage Sites. The Center works in close cooperation with all the countries where World Heritage Sites are noticed. In addition, the Center develops information material for the media, decision makers, local authorities, local community and site managers. UNESCO role. UNESCO role as the Secretariat to the World Heritage Committee is specifically mentioned in the Convention. To coordinate the activities related to the World Heritage which have been undertaken by different constituents of UNESCO since the inception of the Convention. The Director General of World Heritage Center is the focal point with the organization. The Center administers the World Heritage Fund, updates the World Heritage List and database. It also organizes the meeting of the statutory bodies and provides technical assistance to state party on request. It mobilizes international cooperation and organizes seminars and workshops to spread the message of awareness about the protection, conservation and promotion of world heritages. Operational guidelines. The operational guidelines for the implementation of the World Heritage Convention fixes full responsibilities on the state party for full protection and conservation. The guidelines contain information on the requirements for monitoring, use of World Heritage logo and providing technical training. A number of promotional, educational and technical materials are made available to the state parties. These can be used free of copyright restrictions for non-commercial purposes. Periodic reporting. To ensure the efficient implementation of World Heritage Convention, it is essential that all the concerned parties have access to update information on the application of the Convention and on the state of the conservation of World Heritage properties. Each state party to the Convention should provide periodic reports giving information on the legislative and administrative action taken from protection and conservation of the World Heritage Sites in their territory. The periodic reporting consists of two parts. Part 1 gives the overall application of the World Heritage Convention by each country. It includes the effort on the concerned state party to identify the natural and cultural properties, action taken by the state party for protection and conservation of heritage sites. The second part reports on the state of the conservation of the site. The main objective is to demonstrate whether the World Heritage value of properties which have been inscribed on the World Heritage List has been properly maintained or not. All the state party should provide correct and up-to-date information on the site management, factors affecting the properties and monitoring arrangements. World Heritage and Tourism. The World Heritage Center is engaged in a number of tourism related activities including carrying out missions to examine tourism development projects affecting a site's inscribed value. Such missions have included evaluation of tourism impact on the heritage site. A tourism strategy must respect the values for which the site was inscribed. The documentation prepared for the site's nomination can provide direction for framing the policy. The proposal should always highlight the state's original value as a point of reference. It is for the respective governments to manage the World Heritage Sites to maximize sustainable benefits to the local community. So students, hope you got some information regarding the heritage tourism and its importance. We will meet in the future episode. Until then, take good care of yourself. Thank you.